Good afternoon, Facebook. Give it a second here or two to see if anybody wants to pop on.
Are you on the Paranormal page?
Yeah, fix my hair here, guys. I look awful. It is
Hot.
It is hot.
Humid.
We're in Rome, Georgia, right now, at a little place,
Sweatshop.
a sweatshop. Before I say where we're at, we came down here to the Northwest Georgia Aviation and Balloon Festival. Hot air balloon festival. The hot air balloons actually don't take off until after 5 o'clock, so we decided to do a little bit of letterboxing, if anybody out there is familiar with that. And we came to this place called Myrtle Hill Cemetery, which is a huge cemetery. I'll turn the camera around here and give kind of just a shot.
To Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah, it kind of has that same feel.
Leah, you're fixing to be on camera. Yeah. But I mean, guys, what I'm showing here is not even half of this cemetery. This is just the front. If you go up top to the very tip top of yonder hill, there is a monument. There's a Confederate monument up there, and then in front of it is a huge crypt, a mausoleum with a cupola on the top of it, and it is a beautiful view of downtown Rome. So, but what we decided to pop on here for is
Well, we've had a couple of
right. We've had a couple of experiences while we've been here, and we just thought we would pop on and share some of that. But behind me, you notice, is a mausoleum. I didn't catch the name on it. Branson. We were coming through here, and Leah wanted to take a picture of it, and I stayed in the car. Actually, I was up the hill a little bit to.
He was in the air conditioning, is what.
I was in the air conditioning. Okay, like I said, it's 80 something out here, but the humidity's got it up in the 90s. So it's
80.
And it's wet. I mean, like,
It just rained.
It has rained off and on, and I hate to use the word moist.
Ew.
It is moist out here.
Oh, gross.
So this, I was up the hill bringing the car down, and Leah wanted to come over here and take a picture of this particular mausoleum behind me. And she, well, Leah, why don't you just kind of off camera explain what was going on? I could tell from the car that something was going on. She was visibly.
You can show them and everything while I talk
Okay,
about it.
let me flip the camera around.
What drew me to it was, I mean, it's pretty cool looking and it's massive. So, and anyway, I mean, I don't always.
Hey, Ed.
I don't always attribute everything that I'm drawn to being paranormal, but more often times than not, it usually lines up that way. But so I wanted just to take a picture of it, and the moment I got up here to the steps, I got so dizzy. I felt just an overwhelming amount of emotion, like fear and panic, and just it was rough, and I couldn't even. I got really nauseated, and just my equilibrium was completely off.
To kind of give everybody a vantage point here, where I'm standing is where she was. Now, the car was actually further up here. I was parked right here. But she had to walk from where I'm standing to that road to get to the car, and she was visibly staggering. I could tell that something was wrong. I mean, I had to tell her to get out because it was affecting her that bad.
But when I walked up here, I noticed that the glass that's in the door was pushed.
Yeah, this is open. Y'all can hear.
They're typically not open like that, but it is, and it's just, I can't quite explain it. I don't know. But the funny thing about it is, if you do come out here and visit, and you are sensitive to things like that, I would come up to this mausoleum alone because I'm a lot better since Mike is here. But when it was just me, it was overwhelming.
And so far, I mean, I'm not. I mean, other than the fact that it's creepy, it's weird, like, you know, a mausoleum is supposed to be. I'm not pick. I don't sense anything. We were going to take a little bit of time here to maybe do a quick EVP burst session, see if we can pick up any audio here. But just wanted to pop on and just kind of share this place
Cool.
momentarily. Do you want to tell them about the lady?
Okay. We'll just talk really softly because someone's walking by right now.
Oh, okay. Hold on. You may need to move over here.
We don't want to. And just do a little bit of talking.
Okay, so all right. So there's a lot of people walking around this cemetery. I mean, there's a lady right now. I guess she's doing her exercise and walking, talking on her headphones. You can probably hear her, or maybe not. But I mean, we've run across a whole lot of people in this cemetery.
Not a whole lot.
Well, I mean, more than I would have expected to find in a cemetery.
Maybe about four or five families.
Yeah.
And then this lady.
This is the first person we've ran into that was by themselves, but a couple of cars. I mean, people come up here and they like to look around. I mean, as a matter of fact, there's another car pulling in right now.
It's just a cool.
The view up. I mean, if you haven't had the opportunity, Google this place. They go out of their own website.
And you can download an app.
There is an app that you can download, and there's a QR code up on the top of the hill, up near the big mausoleum that's up there. You can scan it, and it will take you. I don't know who runs, and Ed, you and I've run in a cemetery before, and we thought something was after us. Does that count? But no, there's a QR code up there that you can scan, and it gives you a virtual tour.
No, you download the app, and it will give you a cemetery tour on that app. Kind of like when you go to these places now and you get the headphones for the audio tour.
So I mean, because there's actually Woodrow Wilson's wife is buried here, 28th President of the United States. She's buried up on the top of the hill. There are several.
It's a lot of 1600 to 1800.
Yeah.
And even some new folks, but you know.
A lot of this, there saw a lot of tombstones with IHS in his service. You said that was Calvinist?
Yeah, it can be reformers or Calvinists.
Yes, Ed, walking with a purpose, not running.
And of course, with every cemetery, your Masonic areas, and then your veteran areas.
That's actually something we'd like to question. Ed, if you can answer this question, or if you know somebody that can give me this answer, there's a grave up here that is of Masonic detail. It's one of the big tall ones. It's got the T-square and the compass on it, but at the top it has an urn. And the urn is covered it's draped with a cloth, it looks like. I mean, it's a statue, but that's what it looks like. From the back side of the statue, it looked like a hooded figure. But whenever you get around to the front of it, it's an urn with the cloth draped over it. And I'm not familiar with that symbolism, so if you or anybody else knows the answer to that, I'd like to know. I've never seen that on a tombstone before.
Well, I've seen them, but I didn't know if it was any significance to Mason specifically, or if it's just, I know a lot of symbols indicate wealth or things like that. So
right, wealth, power, places, because there's a...
Oh, and that other grave, she was a part of what?
The Daughters of the American Revolution.
Yeah, that was a cool look.
There was a couple of those. I thought it was the Rotary Club symbol, but it was the Daughters of the American Revolution. There was somebody that had a logo for a quilting. I can't remember what it is. Ladies quilting something or another.
Club.
Yeah, quilting club. They were probably coating things into the quilts and sending them across enemy lines. I don't know. That sounds impressive. But I mean, just sitting here. First of all, it has stormed like thunder and lightning since we've been here. It's rained a couple of times, but that just kind of gives this place a whole different feel. It's still peaceful though. I mean, it's nowhere near like that.
Even with all the busyness, it's still very quiet and peaceful.
It's not like that Jewish cemetery that we went to in Chattanooga where you could hear a pin drop. But I mean, this is pretty close, and this is in the middle of downtown. I mean, there's houses right over there. The biggest part of the city is on the other side of that hill. Hey, Shannon. Thanks for watching us. First time watcher. Cool. First timer.
Okay, so
yeah, back to the mausoleum. Oh, the woman. We want to talk about the woman.
So there was another spot.
I'm going to turn this around so they can see you.
There was another
I'm not.
spot.
Leah's not camera ready.
Right. I'm shower ready.
Yeah, I'm ready for a shower too.
So there's another spot that's on up the hill, and if
I'm going to do some ambiance shots, just show
Yes,
everybody.
please. And if you want to get some shots behind the mausoleum,
Yeah,
I can follow you.
I need to keep you where you. Yeah, they got to hear you.
Okay, so
Now, right up here is what's called the Sexton House. It is the caretaker shed, which is really, really cool.
this actually worked out.
we're not very far from the other sighting that we had.
So come with me.
Let's just walk. We're gonna take you guys to where our other bit of activity today happened.
All right. So, if you know anything about me whatsoever, I don't ever run. I don't run in fear. I don't run if somebody's after me. I just figure I'd rather them just get me and kill me, besides me getting out of breath and running. But I actually ran after.
You're harder to kill if you're out of breath. Yeah, she took off running after this. So, again, for point of reference here, there was a letterbox that we were looking for right over here along that rock wall. Hey, Ashley. Wow, I can't. Okay, my hand was causing it to unfocus. But anyway, right over there, we were trying to find a letterbox buried in that wall. The box wasn't there, so I got up over here and I was putting all my gear together. Leah's right there taking pictures. And right about where she's standing now, she took off running in that direction that we're going to go.
Okay. Well, just for reference, when I was standing here, it was, I didn't even think about it until I had mentioned something else about this movie, and Mike's like, oh, it was like how she was dressed then. But I was standing right here, and if you point, see where those 3 trees are? That gate's in between these 2 right here. Do you see? Or there used to be a gate.
Right here where my finger is on the camera. Well, every time I put my hand in shot, it causes the camera to go out of focus.
Okay.
But right about there, guys.
So I was standing here, and it was not your proverbial lady in white. It was actually all in black. So it was kind of like a lacy, flowy, black Victorian type long gown, and then her head was completely draped in a black veil that, you know, covered past her chest. So it was one of those really long veils. You
Right.
see what I'm talking about?
Hold on, I got a bunch of questions jumping in here real quick. Patty, we are at Myrtle Hill Cemetery. We're in Rome, Georgia.
Coolest place.
Very cool.
If you've ever been to Savannah, for those that missed me saying this earlier, if you've ever been to Savannah at the Bonaventure Cemetery, it's very, very reminiscent of that.
Ashley, thank you for that information. That's actually pretty interesting. Honoring the spirit's beliefs, embroidered cloths, use all kinds of magical acts can occur. Ed says it's a Masonic thing. Ed, I'd have to go back and take a look. I'm not 100% sure which direction it was facing. I'm going to take a guess.
Well, where's north?
Wait a minute, hold on, because that was where... Okay, so again, those of you that don't know what letterboxing is, that's the whole reason we came to this cemetery. Letterboxing is kind of like a scavenger hunt where people will hide a box with a little stamp on it, and you go find that box, you stamp your book. They've got a little book.
Ink and stamp,
Yeah,
not a postage stamp.
Yeah, like ink and stamp, like she said. But anyway, so some of these clues require compass readings. Ed, I remember the monument that we were looking at. It was... I had to walk south to get to it.
Okay.
So that means it would be facing... Hold on. Ed, it was facing west. It was facing west.
No. If you were walking south, then it was facing east.
No. If it was in front of me, it was south. Yes.
Okay.
Ed, it was facing west.
Y'all hear the thunder?
Yeah, can everybody hear the thunder behind us? You're very welcome, Allison. Very welcome.
Mike saw some lightning a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah, let's head back on up here.
All right, so I saw that lady all in black. Well, I ran and made a beeline because I'll go up there and I'll show them what.
Okay.
And
So
then you come up there and we can finish talking.
all right. So now, what are you showing them?
What she did.
Okay. So I'm sure Ed, I guess west is symbolic there. Anyway, so what Leah's going to do is she's going to go up there and she's going to stand and do what she saw this woman in black do. All right, and action. Yeah, they can't hear you. The wind was blowing. The dress is billowing around. Yeah, like that. Then she saw her go. And that was whenever she started running. And so she ran up this way. And as you can see, this is not the safest terrain in the world. A lot of tree roots. Well, you don't ever want to hear that sound when you're in a cemetery.
I knew they were going to get us.
All right, so right here is where Leah was standing. Was in front of this.
So, of course,
And we've got a plot here.
I don't believe in spirits.
Right.
I got that mimic vibe off of her, like she's portraying herself as something that she's not.
Right.
I got to looking at who is actually buried here. First I looked at this and it says daughter of Florence Stevens and William Hoyt.
Yes, Hoyt.
And Mike looked at her birth and death, and you said she was what, about 16?
It says God lent us to her for 16 years and 13 days.
Well,
Is what the inscription says.
This wasn't a girl. This was a woman. So right next to her is actually Florence, her mama. And you said she was about, what, 57?
Yeah, born 1839, passed in 1896.
So I feel like it was a mimic of whom they're, like, people here are thinking it's her, but it's not.
Right.
And I mean, meaning that you can tell, I can feel, I guess I should say, that there are people that come here, as in all cemeteries really. I'm sure that there's not any that anybody leaves alone, but they come up here and do different.
Here's another stone with an urn draped in a cloth, but this one is different.
Yeah, it looks different.
This is look different than the one that was
the
over
other
there.
one had handles on either side.
Yeah. But I'm giving another shot of the cemetery. There's the very tip top of it.
But anyway, so yeah, and there's only women buried here.
Is that a woman buried over there also?
It is a woman, but I
Pauline.
get the impression that it's this.
Sister, maybe?
Well, I don't know. It's like Blassa.
Oh no, she was born in 1888. Before, like, she would have been
Maybe sisters?
no, too young.
Daughter, maybe?
18,
Other daughter?
she died in 1896. She was born in 1888.
Oh, well, then that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, no, that doesn't. Well, that works in today's math, but
Oh, the what do you, Common Core?
common core math.
But anyway, it was very interesting. You can tell that, you know, people, groups have been up here and have done their own little ritualistic things, and it was quite interesting that I didn't really understand what it meant. I took it a different way than what it was intended. Yes, could be. It
Could be Ed. Could have been.
Could have been. What do you call them? Oh shoot.
Because I mean, this whole thing is a plot here. Because you've got the three ladies buried here, and then you got this crypt that was right behind us. I'm assuming it's husband and wife on top and bottom, because you got Edwin Scruggs, Elizabeth Scruggs, and then
Harris.
Jackson Harris and Mary Harris.
But this was in Victorian time, so this was not
Ed said it is Georgia.
right. It's fundamental.
Fundamental, yeah, there we go.
Fundamental Mormons. Sister wives, yes.
I mean, there's all sorts of statues of angels, and
Super cool.
anybody that is a Doctor Who fan and knows what I mean when I say weeping angels, this place will creep you out.
I'm not a fan, but I still know. But anyway, tell them what that woman said to us. We were explaining, it was a lady and her daughter, and I was explaining to them what letterboxing was, because, I mean, if you have kids, even if you don't have kids, it's something really cool to do.
I'm going to turn the camera around as
Y'all like treasure hunts.
as I go down this hill. All right, so the doing the letterboxing, of course, the whole point is you're supposed to, whenever somebody walks up on you, you're supposed to be secretive about it, because not everybody understands what you're doing. And if you're hiding a box, that most of these stamps, these rubber stamps that have been left by people, they've been hand carved, so there was a lot of work put into them.
And people just destroy things.
That's where I was going with that. People, they say, "Oh, what's that?" Or worse yet, they see, somebody putting a box under a wooden log somewhere. They either think, A, you're dropping a bomb, or B, it's a drug drop. So, woman comes up and she's got her small child with her. We're like, well, we feel the need to explain what we're doing.
You want to smoke?
You want to smoke?
No.
Smoking a pancake? So, when we see children out doing this, we'll explain to them, because that's something that it's good to get your family involved in. Our son Logan he loves doing this. So, but whenever we were explaining to her, she's like, "Oh, well, I didn't think anything of it. I mean, people come out here all the time, and what was it? She said they dig up graveyard dirt, and there's no good that can come of graveyard dirt. I know what that means." And Leah took it one way, but I took it the other.
I thought she meant. Now that you told me what she meant,
you can't get past it, right?
What did I think she meant? Oh, that I don't know. What?
I don't remember now.
Tell me what it means.
Okay, so there are people that will take dirt from a cemetery and they will use it for conjuring and rituals and things like that. So that is kind of concerning that kind of activity goes on in this cemetery. Someone has laid witness to it.
And I was thinking more of it like a memento.
Right.
It wouldn't have made sense in the context that I thought it, because what good can come of graveyard dirt? Oh, and that stuff could be attached to it.
Yeah, that's one thing. Let's go ahead and get this out here right now. I mean, we're gonna get away from this place, but here's a free newsletter tip for you as part of the dangers of the paranormal, things that you shouldn't do. First of all, you're going to notice that we're in this cemetery in the daylight. It's open to the public, so we're not up here trespassing. There's people that want to come. I'm going to have to hook up to power here pretty soon.
Well, I did a quick search too. They do ghost tours, I think, up in this cemetery.
Oh.
I don't know if it's still active or not, but I just did a quick Google search. So even if people came in through access of that at night, people do.
Yeah, well, I'm just adding that as a pointer. We're not just up here hanging out, in a cemetery till. But anyway, so some people will come into a cemetery and they'll want to take things from mementos. Like Leah said, there's people that will take dirt from a cemetery, dirt from the grave of a loved one, or you'll come through and you'll see little trinkets that people have left, or you'll see there's some of these rock walls that are up here that are of this cyclopean architecture that, it's pretty cool, and it'd be like, hey, I'd like to take some of that with me. I've known people that have taken flowers from cemeteries before, like a flower, I was like, oh, I like the flowers on that grave, and we'll take them home with me.
Which, by the way, is rude.
Yeah, it's very rude, but you don't want to take anything from a place like this, because it's supposed to be hallowed ground. But things can become attached to stuff like that, especially if people are coming up in here and are doing conjuring and rituals and stuff like that. You may find the remnants of a ritual. Yeah, that's a busted open crypt. Let me turn this camera around. I'm going to say that...
Sacred to the memory of D.B.
What's the years on it?
November the 1st, 1833, died March 29th, 1861. And then there's a cursive, either verse or scripture.
March 23rd, 1860.
Let me take a picture of that.
Well, I mean, it looks like there's nothing in it. So either he's been taken out at some point, or you can see the remnants right here of what looks like a wall. Maybe he's been buried underneath it, and then this was laid on top of it. But
Traditionally, he would have been inside of it.
Correct.
But
And I hope that this isn't someone that has come in and has vandalized this. I'm hoping maybe...
I think it's just worn over time.
Yeah, because that's one of the things we've noticed about this place. So one of the things that this cemetery advertises on its website is because of how high it is. I mean, you can take a look out across the mountain right there, and like I said, we're still not even at the highest point of the cemetery. This cemetery is advertises that it's so high up off the ground that it won't flood. But keeping that in mind, if this gets a lot of rainfall, you're going to get a lot of shifting of earth, runoff. And just based on the crack across the top of that, I'm going to say that that's what happened here.
Just over time.
Oh God, they're shooting at us.
Yep. No, they're not.
Firecrackers. All right, well, we're going to take probably another few minutes here. I'm going to have to actually go to my car and get my my power supply because I'm on less than 10% battery. And we'll do our little quick EVP session over here at this mausoleum. And then we're going to go ahead and get out of here. But we just wanted to pop in and share this place with y'all. It's been really, really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for those of y'all that have popped in with us.
Yes.
Leah, if anything else happens or we find some other place while we're up here that we want to share with you guys, we'll pop back on. And let me get down this hill here.
It's supposed to be really cool. Darth Vader hot air balloon tonight.
Oh yeah, they're gonna at the hot air balloon festival that we're going to. There's gonna be a Darth Vader balloon, so you know I'm stoked. But anyway, guys, thanks for popping in. Thanks, Ed. We'll stay safe. That's what we would do. And if we catch anything, we'll let y'all know. Thanks. Bye.